By the way, if you're not following this case and you are not in it, like, you can just keep scrolling. You don't have to leave a comment. You don't need to like express yourself. Not everything on the internet needs to be for you. A lot of us are very invested. Okay, so interestingly enough, yesterday, Blake Lively's team filed essentially asking the judge for an extension to file their amendment. Okay, so just to slow that down for you. Blake Lively sued Wayfarer Studios. They then countersued them and were basically like, you guys are terrible. Here are the messages to prove it. And then Wayfarer Studios team essentially amended their complaint to include all of the stuff that us internet sleuths found about the New York Times, essentially showing that this article was a part of some larger scheme and that they had the data to prove it. So Blake Lively then said when they showed up, like, well, we need time to now respond to their amendment. This like New York Times amendment, some other things were added as well, but that was kind of like the guts of it. And the judge said, okay, that's fine. You need to file your amendment. Her time to file that was supposed to be Valentine's Day. So Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are due to file their amended complaint, like just amending the original, shouldn't take much time, on February 14th. Now, today, actually yesterday, February 10th, it's dated, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds went back to Judge Lehman and were like, actually, we can't make that date. We can't do February 14th. We need more time. We actually, for some reason, need to pull together some more things in order to enter in our final complaint before we get this onto the schedule. And so they were asking specifically for them to move the extension date to March 5th, 2025. So from the 14th to the 5th, they want basically like another 2 weeks on top of another week. And in my head, I'm going like, for what? They're also asking to also extend the deadline for the time to file any motion to dismiss to March 20th. And so they got this in and, they write this like which I'll show on the show tomorrow, like respectfully, we're asking to amend, we need more time to amend. And like, I'm bringing this, I'm like, it feels like they're just buying themselves time. Like, what do you need time? You filed this lawsuit initially. You had the receipts, you got debunked. Why do you need much? If you're just telling the truth and you've got some smoking gun, drop it already. There's there's a compelling piece of this, by the way, where I'm not going to speak about it today. I'll wait for the show tomorrow. My life is crazy. 1 minute I'm like Brigitte Macron, and then the next minute I'm on a live talking about Blake Live. I'm interested in everything. This is my problem in life. Anyways, for tomorrow, I'll get into what the theories are about why she's doing that. There was one TikToker who had his video removed because he was contacted and told essentially they're trying to lobby people to join a lawsuit so they can give the lawsuit some teeth. And I'm guessing that those people are saying, no way, Jose, I'm not getting involved in this mess, because there's zero upside in getting involved right now. I mean, you would just have to be a person who just had a knack for pain. I don't know, like just like into it, like a masochist. I don't know. Why would you want to get involved in it? It's so messy and it's so ugly. Taylor Swift is trying to flee the country under umbrellas right now because she's getting dragged into this and she still needs to be deposed. Anyways, going back to this. So the judge came back with his decision, slapped him down. First, Wayfarer said we don't want them to be able to extend. This is ridiculous. What are we waiting for? Let's get this party started. And so their lawyers came in and were like, they're dragging their feet here. There's no reason. There is no reason why they can't meet this deadline of February 14th in terms of filing their amended complaint. Like me, I don't know about you guys, what you're doing Valentine's Day. I'm staying in to read this amended complaint. I'm not going to any restaurant. I need to hear. I need to read what they are going to try to drop back to answer Justin Baldoni. I am sorry, I'm not going to be stuck at some restaurant having to pick between 3 options on Valentine's Day when I could be reading an amended complaint filed by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. That seems fun to me. I hope my husband, who definitely does not think that sounds fun, is up for that, because that's what we're going to be doing for Valentine's Day. Okay? So the judge gets both of their arguments. Wayfarer's they don't need more time. Blake's I do, but I can't really tell you why. And other than Ryan says, and the lawyers say I need time. Judge Lehman just came back, slapped him down. He's like, no. Okay, I'm going to give you more time. He does give them more time. He gives them 1 more day. Just love this guy. This is amazing.
In case you don't know, now the reason why the motion was denied, or the extension was, I would say, denied, because as Candace said, it was only extended for an extra day. The reason why it was denied is because Blake Lively was going off from the fact that there was a case that she has in Texas, which she was the one that filed another lawsuit, I think, with someone in Texas. So she was like, hey, the lawyers have to be dealing with this case as well. Can you give us a few more days? No, the judge is like, that has nothing to do with this case in New York. That case is in Texas. It has nothing to do with us. You get an extra day. We want it by Monday over the weekend. So in case you don't know, that was why.
Amazing. And his order, when he writes it back, he's just like, you have not presented a valid argument for why you need this extension. Like, drop your arguments here. Like, what are your arguments? You had a lot of time to think about this. You had all year. Judge Lehman didn't say this like I'm saying this now, but like he's like, look, you've had all year plotting to take down this guy. Okay, you've had time to consider this. Okay, even your BFF Taylor knows something's up because she's not saying anything about your alleged sexual harassment. She's hiding under umbrellas. Hiding under umbrellas, getting on her plane, fleeing the Super Bowl after being booed. I don't believe you. Okay, Judge Lehman didn't say any of that, but he did say that he was only giving them a 1-day extension. So rather than it being due on February the 14th, which is a Friday, he's giving them the weekend to scramble if they need extra time. And he is saying their amendment is due on the 17th. So technically, I could go out for Valentine's Day and you could go out too. I wanted you guys to know that because he's giving them a 1-day extension. I'm going to assume that they're going to take it until February 17th, but I will be watching. Obviously, I am on the case. I am now the security for the Baldoni team. That's not true either. I never met him and I don't know him, but I feel in my heart that we are cousins. He's just my annoying, very happy, peaceful cousin who's just way too nice. And he just needs to get a noogies. I'm just going to give him a noogies. If I ever meet Justin Baldoni, I'm going to give him a noogies. Anyways, that's the update. I will give you more on what is allegedly going on, allegedly in the background of what their strategy is of basically pleading with anybody to get involved with this case. I'll tell you where that tidbit is coming from. Also, as a major thing, this is not a joke. One of Ryan Reynolds' teachers growing up reached out to me and wrote to me some insane things about little Ryan Reynolds. Like, basically, he was always a little cray-cray. And he's got some behavioral issues. And I'm going to read that on the show tomorrow because that's just funsies. That feels like a hump day funsies vibe. Anyways.
All right. So in terms of that drama school teacher, wrote to Candace and basically said that, Ryan was in his class at the age of 12, 13. And he was so self-centered, so self-absorbed. He made everything about himself. Everything to the point where the teacher was like, yeah, get him out of my class. So what he did was basically he gave him, what you'd say now, a sort of contract. I mean, it was back in the day, telling him that, listen, the only way you come back to this class is if you apologize and you behave yourself, right? And he did apologize. He apologized to the point where he shed tears, and everyone in the class, other students that is, fell for it and was like, yeah, let him come back. Oh my God, sympathy, we feel for him. And what happened is that Ryan Reynolds, after later in the day, was walking past this same drama teacher and he was like, by the way, I was acting. Right? So basically that's it. I mean, it's nothing like crazy, but it's just show how manipulative he would have been from a tender age, according to his teacher, allegedly.
That is a summation. Judge has shot her down. We are going to be able to read Blake and Ryan's amendment to their lawsuit on the 17th, being the absolute latest.
It should also be noted that Colleen Hoover reactivated her Instagram, but not only did she reactivate her Instagram, she unfollowed Blake Lively. And she removed all the photos of herself and Blake from her Instagram feed. Now, it seems as if no one is on Blake's side. As mentioned before in my previous videos, Taylor Swift, who's an advocate for women also, as you know, the both of them are friends, birds of a feather flock together. Blake says that she advocates for women as well, feminism as they call it. But everyone seems to be stepping away from Blake's side, and that is not looking good because now It's like persons are seeing the true pictures and seeing that she might be a liar. And to add to Candice's video, there's also a new update that was found just a few hours ago that Blake Lively and her team is going to reportedly provide all internet text messages back for, well, not provide, they're asking Baldoni to provide all text messages from 2.5 years ago. Because, right, you know, it's a movie production, it takes years and years and years. So they're requesting for 2.5 years of text messages from Baldoni on the premise that he had a smear campaign against her. Right, so you remember last year, the public was against Blake Lively. This is how this all started, right? The public was against her. They were like, oh my God, look how she's promoting her hair brand. What kind of lady, what kind of person can you be? How can you say you're a feminist and you're using this time, this movie that is supposed to be showing, talking about domestic abuse, and you're using this time to talk about where are your flowers, da 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 da, like it is some fairy tale, and the internet turned against her. And then not only that, people started to realize that Blake is not Miss Nice Girl. You know, she was really like her character in Gossip Girl. So they started to, you know, basically find all interview clips with her just being downright rude. Just rude to interviewers, and it became this big thing. Nobody liked her. And so she's saying the reason why she was receiving all that hate was because the PR team that Baldoni hired was working against her and working to ruin her reputation. So basically she's like, yeah, send on all the text messages from 2.5 years ago. We want to see it. We want to see it because what? We're going to prove that you had a smear campaign against me. But the funny thing with this is that it was already debunked. Like, didn't she push that idea already? It was already debunked that they did not plan it. The world saw her for who she was. And it's crazy to me how someone can say, oh, it's a smear campaign against me. Even if it was a smear campaign on Baldoni's side with his PR team, those interviews were years ago, and it showed your attitude, and it stinks. It's not good. So either way, it's just clips that were out there that are now being shown to the public, given your new behavior. I don't know. It's crazy to me. But what Candace was saying also is that it makes no sense she asked for those text messages for 2.5 years ago, because if you know about the website that Baldoni released, it has all them text message on there. And Candice was like, she's pretty sure that his lawyer would have gone through all those text messages, and there's nothing there to prove anything. So basically, Blake and Ryan are scattering, trying to find persons or trying to find strong enough evidence to prove their point. Because first it was being harassed, SA'd in the workplace, and now it is just all over the place. First it was he called me fat, and then it turned into he wants me, so, and I ain't giving him the time of day, so he's doing this to me. So it's a lot of contradiction, and it's a lot of mess surrounding this. So Monday will be the next update.